The podcast you are about to hear contains graphic language and adult content.
Sorry, moms. Hi, and welcome. It's us. We're back. We're live.
We're live.
Here.
We're alive?
Alive. I just love that we made the same joke, pretty much. That's cute.
We're one brain. We literally each have half a brain.
Woo! I get the left side.
Aw, okay. I'll do
That's
numbers.
Right. Go do some math, nerd.
I'll go use logic and find patterns and things.
Yeah, and you know what else we'll do? Turn another year older because we're recording on Talad's birthday. Woo!
That's right.
The crowd goes crazy. Ah!
Today, I aged 1 year in 1 day. And let me tell you, it's something. A lot of back pain.
You can tell.
Yeah,
You can tell. I hate to tell you this, but you can see it in your face.
Oh, you can
in
see
your
it.
eyes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
the youthful glow is gone.
There's a lot of reasons for that. So many reasons. But that's okay. You know what? Youth is a young man's game. I'm not an old man, but I am I have accepted that I am no longer a young person by today's standards. I've told you in person, I've been just driving around a lot in town. I was like driving through the UCLA campus, and that was very overwhelming. It was overrun with college kids, and I did not fit in. I felt that hard.
Aged.
Yeah. Aged. I felt like, I don't know what it felt like. It felt like I wandered into a Taylor Swift concert. It felt like I really was a sore thumb. And I've been at concerts I maybe was a sore thumb at. I went to a Tenacious D concert in Bend, Oregon. Yeah, it wasn't like somewhere I'd fit in, like, Compton.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. When you said Tenacious D concert, I was like, that kind of feels like your natural habitat, but I do see your point.
I have evolved into I guess a young old man. Let's go with that. I'm a young old man.
You're an old young man.
An old young man, even.
That would
be better.
I would argue you're more of an old young man than a young old man. I think you turn into
Okay.
I think you turn into a young old man when you hit like your late 40s.
That's fair. Okay, so I'm an old young man.
Exactly. And then you're just a man
okay with
between the ages of like 35 and 45.
That's boring. That's going to be a real boring couple of years when you're just a man. I can't wait to be a young old man after that.
That's why the YMCA guys didn't use those lyrics for their song. Men. Da 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 da.
Right.
Men.
They were like, this isn't working.
Men.
This is boring. We need to spice it up. I got it. Young man. Ooh, yeah.
That's where the money is. Okay.
That's a good one.
Question.
Cop.
That's
the cop who said that idea. Oh, what?
What? Why would the cops
the members
say that?
of the village people.
The cops have
was
never
the-
had a good idea. Why would you say
Well,
that?
I think the cop and the village people is maybe the one good cop.
How dare you? Compromise on your morals. I was going to ask you about a happy and a crappy of your last year.
Okay.
And they don't have to be the happiest or the crappiest.
Sure.
They can be a happy and a crappy of your last year of life.
It's definitely been a lot of year. I'll say that. So
Heck
there's
yeah.
a lot to choose from. I think the happy is making the move to LA and getting to, just really, I don't know, throw myself into this new place. And I'm so glad I got to do it with some very good friends, and making new friends along the way has been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a happy. A crappy, and I don't know why I chose to end on a crappy. I just thought of the happy first. The crappiest part of year 31 of my life. What would it be? I guess, and by the same token, like moving here also meant moving away from somewhere. So maybe leaving Portland. Because, there's a lot of reasons I wanted to move here. Not really one of which was like that I was just tired of Portland or didn't want to be there. Like, that's not the case at all. So yeah, I miss a lot of it. I know my mind always goes to food first.
It does, and I knew you were going to say that.
I miss other things other than the food, but the food. But no, obviously we have so many great friends over there that I'm hoping we're just gonna keep on still being friends through all this, and then whenever they come visit, it'll be a nice treat, and when we go visit, it'll also be a nice treat. There's a lot of community. There's a lot of great art and comedy and improv and stuff that I do miss a lot, and I see people still making things over there. I'm like, that's great. That's so great. I wish I could see it. I wish I could support it. I wish I could just hop on a plane and go to Portland whenever I wanted. So that's what we're manifesting for me.
Isn't this just a life lesson as you get older that sometimes the happiest things are the crappiest things? You know what I mean?
Sure.
I feel like it's a real sign of age and maturity that you picked the same event for both your happy and your crappy. Because things aren't just black and white, they're often shades of gray. And look at you, teaching us all a life lesson in your 31st year of life.
Well, rather regarding my 31st year of life. Actually, would this technically be my 33rd year of life? Because I'm turning 32. So this, between 30 now and a year from now, will be the 33rd. You know, when you're a baby, you're born at 0, not 1. You know what I mean? So, you know, when you turn 1, that means you're starting year 2, right? Right?
I guess.
You know, why don't you think on that? And I guess we could just start the show.
Okay, good. I need the whole...
I'll give you a moment.
About it. Thank you.
Everyone let that sink in. Think about what that means for you. Gemini season, let's go!
You caught my eye in the grocery line, and I fancied myself a man worth your time, and I couldn't help thinking, I wish you were mine, a man-seeking woman whose total is 589. I don't do this often, I'm not like other guys, which is why I find myself in a sort of existential crisis.
Podcast for listener seeking cutie seen at Ron DeSantis' Twitter space, feeling hopeless since it was the largest online gathering of all time. It's time for another Craigexistential Crisis, the podcast where we take the misconnection section into new directions. I'm Tom Bigelow.
And I'm Sarah Thompson, and today, as in all episodes, we're going to be taking a deep dive into, you heard it, the misconnection section, which is on Craigslist. It's like a free and open message board for the people of the internet, free to post on. Unfortunately, anyone can do it. And people post specifically on this part of Craigslist in hopes that somebody they just had a moment with, had a connection, didn't act on it in the moment. They're going to post about it later in hopes that that person reaches back out to them and rekindles that fire.
Do you think it would be better if, like Twitter Blue, there was like a subscription fee for the misconnection section? Everyone has to pay.
No,
something.
No, I don't think that paying should be an integral part of this process because, you know, obviously I don't hate poor people, but I do think that there should be some sort of someone's casually asking before you post, "Are you sure you would like to say that?"
A number of pop-ups just to say, "Hey, is this really worth it to you?"
Yeah, like on the scale of creepiness, on the scale of you hitting on somebody just trying to do their job, like gauge for us where it is, and it'd be like a slider, and you'd have to do the slider, and then depending on where the slider lands, it would either be like, okay, go ahead and post it, or I think you're not going to be allowed to do that, and they'll like freeze your account for 24 hours.
That'd be good. Yeah. I also think it would benefit from just Craigslist should make sure you're posting in the right place. Like, you're about to write something yelling at someone who cut you off in traffic, and it should be like, hey, just a reminder, this is for misconnections. Is that what you're doing? Is that what this is? Because we got a section for everything, basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I see. Look at us asking so much from this free website that is offered to all of
I
us.
know.
We're sorry. We're sorry.
hasn't been updated since the 90s. Anyway, we like to cherry pick the best misconnections so you don't have to. And then we like to give them to each other to cold read on the spot. We are improvisers, so
I don't know why
cold
you had
reading
to.
is second nature.
I don't know why you had to drop that in there.
I just want people to know.
I feel exposed.
Well, you shouldn't have taken that improv class then.
All right. Well, I have a misconnection. We'll start with one of mine that I'm going to give to you that you can then cold read. We generally pick from Portland because, let's just say it, they have the best misconnections culture so far. So go ahead and take it away, Tom.
That echo chorus lied to me. In those pandemic days of solitude, the locked shop door was inexplicably rude. Walking beyond my element, in the meth-tainted town of your discontent. Another time, another place, another long journey consigned to waste. Still holding fast, though nothing's left, my invisible friend of hope bereft. An opening, perchance, for ardent cupidity. But nay, no joy found where falls sublimity.
Really, really dedicated to that AABBCC rhyme structure here.
If it ain't broke.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes people do get real poetical on this forum, and I gotta say,
Poetical is good.
thank you. I gotta say I'm not mad about it.
Of all the poems that we've read from the misconnection section, this one at least had, I don't know, good. I don't know. I don't want to praise it too much. It was okay. It was decent. It was good. You know what? It had the most attributes of an actual poem.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, maybe it's the English major in me, but I do feel like I don't give extra points for form if it doesn't serve the function. And I'm not sure what exactly the rhyme scheme is doing here. But again, I'm not out here posting poetry on the internet, so maybe I should keep my trap shut, because it does take a little bravery to do so, I suppose.
It's anonymous. You could if you wanted. No one would have to know.
No one would. Yeah. What if I was posting these poems anonymously and then having you read them so that I could get feedback on them?
God. That sounds like a great premise for like a romantic comedy.
I'm writing this down right
that.
now. I'm writing down your notes. I'm like, rhyming, check, plus.
Yeah.
We love it.
Talon liked this one. Not sure why. What is it? What is this about, do we think?
Well,
What are we saying?
there's a lot of parts in it that I feel like are a little bit left to the viewer. For instance, walking beyond my element. Element is capitalized, so I'm wondering, does this person drive a Honda Element? Or are they simply
I was thinking.
acknowledging air, water, fire, earth with respect
elements.
By having title case go on there. The elements.
Is this person a bender of some kind? Air,
Fire, water, earth. All the bends.
Heart. By your powers combined, I am Aang the Last Airbender.
Incredible. Where's the Captain Planet, The Last Airbender mashup we've all been waiting for?
Where is that?
I would say
I'm gonna spiral into this thought real quick.
Okay,
is
no,
that
take your
I
time.
miss the versus movies. I miss like Alien versus Predator. I miss Freddy versus Jason. I think this is a franchise that really needs to be in the age of AI and CGI, making a hard comeback right now. We could be watching, Aang versus Captain Planet on the big screen if we wanted. That would be great. We could be seeing Indiana Jones versus James Bond. Why are we doing this? If a computer can do it, right, major studio heads? If a computer can do it, there's billions of dollars. You can CGI Daniel Craig's face onto anything. So, there you go. Make that happen. Make that happen if you can.
I will say you're getting a little ahead of yourself, seeing as how we still need a decent Last Airbender movie to come out before we start doing spin-offs. But I do see where you're going here. It is also the age of people violently protecting their intellectual property and running them into the ground. And so to get a crossover, I think people have to be a little lenient with their IP. And if there's one thing that studios aren't, it is lenient with their IP right now. So
They are and they aren't because they're very protective of it. But then, Indiana Jones is in like a 7-Up commercial and it's like, I don't know that he would drink 7.
wait,
Is
Indiana Jones in a 7-Up commercial right now?
No, that's a made-up example.
Oh.
But, like, every big superhero is, Like, I'm pretty sure Thor was doing, like, 7-Eleven commercials. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you can't say you're so protective of it and then have Captain Marvel driving a Nissan and then being like, this is just what she does in her free time. She likes Nissan cars, and so do you. No, I don't buy it. And if you're going to have them do that, then you should also have Captain Marvel fucking fight Wonder Woman in a movie. I'd like to see it.
All right, no, but noted. And I would also like to note that Indiana Jones is definitely a Dr. Pepper guy. Mr. Pibb when they have it.
Ooh. He prefers Mr. Pibb.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I guess Pibb Extra is pretty good.
Are you
But-
fucking kidding me? Dude,
To Dr. Pepper? Dr. Pepper's so good.
Mr. Pibb is far superior on every level.
I don't agree. Also, he's a doctor. A doctor would like Dr. Pepper,
Elitist.
I think. Don't you think?
Elitist scum. I like the everyman,
I'm just saying.
Mr. Pibb.
Mr. Pibb.
Drink of
I
the
think
proletariat.
They both worked hard for that degree, and I just can't see Indiana Jones drinking a Mr. Pibb.
I literally cannot believe that you would slander Mr. Pibb to me right now.
Mr. Pibb's... I got nothing against Mr. Pibb. I just am surprised that anyone would prefer it to Dr. Pepper. I don't know. 23 flavors in there. 23.
Yeah.
Number of legends.
Well, Mr. Pibb doesn't need to brag about how many ingredients he puts in his sody. He just trusts that it tastes good.
It's also... What is a Pibb? Who is Mr. Pibb in the context of Mr. Pibb? Has anyone done a Google on this? What is the story with Mr. Pibb?
He makes a delicious drink.
I gotta find out.
He makes it... I don't need to
gotta
know
find out.
anything beyond the fact that he makes a delicious,
No.
tasty drink.
Pibb Extra is a reformulation of Mr. Pibb. So it's the same thing, different formula. Okay, great. Who is Mr. Pibb? Mr. Pibb's been around. Mr. Pibb has been around for a while. I'll give you
That's
that.
right.
1972. But it first introduced as Peppo to compete against Dr. Pepper, which was their first. Peppo. They wanted to call it Peppo.
Well, I can't say that. Honestly, I would drink something called Peppo. I take it back. I definitely drink something called Peppo.
It's so funny that Mr. Pibb isn't like a real person. It was just invented to compete with Dr. Pepper. And they were like, we're going to make ours an average man.
Well, I don't think Dr. Pepper's a real man.
No, but it works
Okay.
better as a soft drink name. If it was Dr. Pibb, I'd have the same question. Also...
What?
Okay, sorry. No, the name of Dr. Pepper, I think does come from a real person. A theory often cited, I guess, is that the drink was named after actual doctor, one Charles T. Pepper of Rural Retreat, Virginia. And that the person who made the drink may have named it after them because that doctor gave this guy his first job. But that's just theory. That's
hearsay.
Dr. Pepper theory.
I don't think the doctor would appreciate there being untested theories about his sody out there on the internet. I would also like to say, I don't think I've ever had normal Mr. Pibb. I've only ever had Pibb Extra, and I've never once questioned it. I thought the real name of it was just Mr. Pibb Extra, and there was never an original Mr. Pibb.
Wow. No, I think Mr. Pibb, I don't know if it exists now. It might only be
Extra.
sold as Pibb Extra. Extra Pibb.
More Pibb in every bite.
You know, soda was also, like, sold as medicine back in the day. So it makes sense that a doctor...
Okay.
involved.
I'm not throwing down with you over this anymore. Mr. Pibb is far superior. And just because you're not a man of the people and you don't believe that just normal men should have soda brands named after them, but they have to be elitist doctors. And that's all I have to say. Going back to this
I do
poem.
think there's a lot of soda brands that a doctor in front of would improve. Dr. Surge,
Dr. Do.
Dr. Squirt.
Okay.
Dr.
To be
Do.
honest, Dr. Squirt would get me.
You'd buy a Dr. Squirt instantly. Anyway.
Think about the cross-branding opportunities.
Ooh, yeah. There's a lot of potential there. But nay, no joy found where falls sublimity. Sublimity, like sublime?
Yeah. Sublimity
Okay.
is like the same. It's like the noun of sublime.
Okay, great. Anyway, it sounds like this person really had some feelings about walking around in Portland during the pandemic and, accused the whole town of doing meth, which I don't know. Everybody's.
I was about to say, I don't feel that Portland is much of a meth town. I would say Portland's much more of a coke town than a meth town.
I think I agree. Yeah. I don't have as much
if we're-
firsthand knowledge, but probably that sounds right to me.
I feel that, I think meth's a little hard for Portland. Portland's kind of a soft boy. I don't know that Portland would go full meth,
Portland is definitely full of people who see, graffiti on a government building and go, this place is full of meth heads. We got to get out of here.
That is also very true. Yeah, this was definitely written by a flighty individual who was like, this town's gone trash, and that's why I can't find love.
Yeah, this place used to be cool before all the meth heads caused the pandemic and also civil unrest by tear gassing civilians for days on end. The meth heads did this.
There's no cupidity left in this town anymore.
You know what I don't miss? I don't miss talking to people who aren't from Portland when they come into Portland and then being like, oh, hey, you guys okay? Is everything still on fire? God damn it. No, there was some protest in a square, block or two. And that's it. But
I've still
you
had
clearly,
that conversation.
Here?
I've still had that conversation with several people here, yes, when they hear I'm from
damn it.
Portland.
They're
It's a
like,
good time.
ooh, Portland, huh? Ooh, yeah, so that's rough, right?
And I'm like,
This person needs to get out more, I think.
that's our advice. Resident sketch class at Terwilliger Plaza. I was the senior male model that was posing for the Saturday sketch class. You placed a note in my pants pocket at some point during my visit. I was a bit taken aback. Then I was flattered. Based on the content of your note, you are a senior female. Thank you for the compliment. You said to place this ad if I wished to communicate. Well, love the idea of seniors using the misconnections section on Craigslist as a secure messaging system. Big fan of that. That's not sarcastic. I am legitimately excited by it.
I like that. I also am very tickled by the idea of seniors passing notes to each other. They're just hiding notes. It's so, it's so middle school. And yeah, it works. If it ain't broke,
Don't fix it. I do have a question. Do you think the pants were on his body? Because when I think sketch class, for some reason, I immediately go, this person was nude. So do you think they
Sure.
went to the discarded pants on the floor and slipped a note into the pocket? Or do you think I have a evil, wicked mind and that this guy was in pants and the note got slipped while the pants were on his body?
Now I'm picturing a lot of famous nude paintings with pants. And I just don't think... I just don't think they would do that. So I think you're right. I think they're nude and that the pants were well, gosh, where did they put? Did they just disrobe right in front of them? How does that work? How do they know where the pants are? I think it'd be a separate room. You know what? I got a lot of questions,
We got to do some.
and I think we've actually
we got to do some on the ground investigative researching.
got to do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're friends with someone who has been I don't know, maybe not a fully nude.
I know
model. Has
exactly
been
who
nude?
you're talking about, and that is actually
Yeah.
who I pictured when I was reading this.
We got to ask him what he does with his pants when he gets in the room. Are
Yeah.
they already off when he enters? Or do you put them just next to you? What do you do?
Is there a lead up? Are you is it part of the show for you to take your pants off? Or is it,
Yeah, maybe they want to draw the action of you removing the trousers. I would think, take pants, get fully nude in a separate room, walk out in a robe, towel, probably a robe, more than a towel. That makes more sense. And
a
then,
loincloth,
you take
if you will. A Smeagol-like
loincloth.
loincloth.
a Speedo, banana hammock, whale tail, any sort of, whatever it is, a sock. And then you arrive to your position and you disrobe that part. Yeah, that's the finale. That is the lead up. You're already mostly nude. But yeah, I do think this was someone the pants were just somewhere nearby, not on the model. That would be a lot more of an intense sneaking a note into someone's pocket if the pants were
on the
them.
model. I don't know. I think it's more intense. I think I would be more thrown off if I went to put my pants back on and somebody had rifled through my pants sitting on the ground in order to find a pocket to slip a note into. But that's just me. I'm no nude model. Perhaps nude models are more blasé about that sort of thing.
You think that would be more intense than you being a pantsed model, topless, everything but pants, off, and you're being painted by a bunch of people, and then one of the students at some point walks up to you or even behind you and like sticks a little piece of paper in your pocket that you're wearing? I feel like that would be maybe more unwelcome.
I'm sorry. I'm so thrown off by the idea of just wearing pants and having my tits out in front of a bunch of people. That is, I'm so distracted by that thought. I couldn't even formulate what you were saying.
No one wants to paint a woman in pants and a shirt. That's weird.
Who'd do that?
How many of those paintings are you seeing? No, it's got to be. You got to show titty.
You got to at least one.
At least one. This is a very sweet misconnection here. And that's the note.
It is nice.
The note also saying then, like, I'm a senior female. You look great. If you want to continue, hit me up on misconnections is what it sounds like it said. Yeah, incredible. Great. Could have left a phone number. Could have left an email even. You said.
Didn't.
I want you to follow a literal paper trail of breadcrumbs onto the internet where we will continue this rendezvous in a private public forum.
Obsessed. Love it. I approve.
Yeah. I just want to say also when I read that title the first time, I was hoping it was a sketch comedy class.
Yeah, I also was, but it's our comedy brains, man.
I'm the girl who couldn't keep up on Saturday night, 5:20. We were chatting it up very nicely with our tequilas and ciders, and then it all hit me at once and came right back up. I managed to get all of it into the gutter and none on my charcoal blouse or blue and gray sundress, but I was still mortified and made the quickest, most dignified exit I could manage. May I have a do-over? Tell me our names and when you'd like to meet up.
Ballsy.
Oof.
Ballsy. Gotta say it. Gotta respect the hustle.
Yeah. I would also leave if I threw up in front of someone. Like a one-on-one hangout situation.
I would leave and never want to see them again. But obviously the connection here was so palpable, they are willing to risk humiliation to reconnect.
Yeah, obviously. Because that would take a lot to make me try to contact a person I was on a one-on-one date with, who I met that day. Yeah, you don't have to see them again. You met them that one day. It's very easy to not see someone again ever who you're meeting one time in that moment. Yeah. You can make that happen.
Yeah.
But something about this was so right before it all went so wrong that they decided it's worth pursuing. I like that.
Slay. We love to see it. Again, very ballsy. This is what Misconnections was made for, and I'm glad this person's utilizing it correctly. Also obsessed with the idea of like this gray sundress.
Yeah. Blue and gray.
Just makes me sad. It makes me sad to think about a blue and gray sundress, but that's just me.
Because it's so muted?
Yeah, because it's supposed to be sunny.
I don't know. It is Portland, so...
Sunnier than here.
Ooh. You burnt L.A.?
I wish I was burnt. I wish I was burnt, but I'm not. Because it's gray out. Oh.
Nice. Yeah.
Anyways, my kudos to this writer.
Good work.
Greatest writer of the month.
Way to get it into the gutter. Like, at that point, would it have even been more of a deal breaker if some of it missed? You're still full vomiting in front of a person.
That's true, but I do feel like neatness matters.
That's true.
Aim matters.
I did have a childhood friend one time hanging out at my house, and he puked. And he went to the bathroom to puke, and he decided to puke in the sink. And it wasn't like a nice sink that, could handle much more than water. So it just had a hard time with that. And the toilet was right there, So
Yeah, do you think it was their first time puking, or...
I guess it could have been. We were young, but it must have really been a panic decision. Because with a little more forethought, I would think. Bigger hole.
Bigger is better.
You want to...
When it comes to holes.
When it comes to holes.
That's what they say.
Bigger's always better. Yeah, boy.
You heard it here first.
I'm glad we're finally repping the big hole community. And
As always. I mean, come on.
you're right. We haven't stopped repping the big hole community. Hey, I got another one for you.
Design flaw. My thumbs are as big as corn dogs, and each time I try to select to read a Misconnections post, I accidentally flag the post. I am sorry. Whoever designs the Craigslist page needs to address this flaw ASAP, so we can end this monstrosity once and for all. I'm no statistician, but this probably happens 1/3 of the time I browse Craigslist Misconnections. This is not, I repeat, not a cruel joke for you earnest posters out there. I am writing this post from voice to text for all you cynics in the comment section. Biggest peace sign you could have ever seen. Corn dog. Corn dog, I appreciate I got some solutions. I'm a solutions-based girl. I appreciate your honesty, but I got some solutions for you.
Ooh.
A, consider a stylus.
Nice.
BlackBerry was doing some right when they were trying to push styluses. It didn't even have to be fancy. I get free pens all the time that have little stylus nipples on the end of them.
Well, that's nice.
And I think, go crazy.
I miss a
use
stylus.
that.
I miss a stylus. I remembered my, the DS, whichever Nintendo DS that had the stylus on it. It was good times. A lot of fun.
Nothing quite like the click-clack of a stylus to make a tiny child feel like they're doing a corporate job, you know?
Yeah. And really back then, because all the adults had them too with their Blackberries. So, I remember my parents having a Blackberry.
You knew it.
And
You knew it.
that was just how the world worked. And now, I know Apple's got a pen, but it's like, what, a couple $100? Psh. Styluses should be cheap.
We don't need features. We just need a little nub on the end, okay?
Yeah, I don't need...
So there's advice number 1.
Okay, number 1. Did you have a number 2?
No, sorry. Did you want to talk more about styluses?
Nope. I'm done. I'm done with styluses. Moving on. Number 2.
Number 2, interesting. I'm really putting on my detective hat here. Interesting that they said, for all you cynics in the comment section, Craigslist doesn't have a comment section. I'm thinking this might have been specifically written for the community at misconnections_PDX, good friends of ours, over on Instagram, because that does have a comment section, and they do pop off. And so I would say perhaps another thing that could solve this is just read them from Instagram. Misconnections PDX does a great job of picking all the best ones. You're not missing much by not being on the website itself.
Yeah, a real good point. And in fact, as we are Craigsbirds here. Do save yourself the trouble. Go find a curated selection, because there's a lot of stinkers. There's a lot of boring, just not even like a good misconnection, not even making good use of what the site is for. Boring, just like people. I don't know. There's some boring one. Like, hey, you were at the same coffee shop as me. And that'll be it. And not worth it.
No description. You're never going to even know if it was you. You're never going to know.
And sometimes you don't even know what the intention is of the other person. Sometimes people are just like, I just want to, you had a funny shirt and I laughed at it and I just wanted to say that was a funny shirt.
Great.
Waste of time.
Everyone's got funny shirts.
Oh,
Wonderful.
Forever 21 selling funny shirts out the wazoo. I don't even know what a wazoo is. I think it's a big hole, so I think I'm a fan. But
so we're pro. We're pro wazoo.
We're pro wazoo. Yeah. Find a curated selection of misconnections and you will save hours a day.
If not years of your life.
If not years. Probably hours out of
From the emotional turmoil.
Also,
specifically.
Third thing. Can you imagine having thumbs as big as corn dogs? That sounds rough.
It does. I do have sympathy. Me being solutions-based isn't from a lack of sympathy. I will say, I'm sorry that your thumbs are the size of corn dogs. That probably makes life really hard for you, but I bet in some ways it makes your life maybe easier. Like if you have to show approval from a long distance away, or if you're hitchhiking.
Or if you're at a sports game and you're approving of the athlete's abilities. Kind of like,
yeah,
I'd rather have a pointer finger the size of a corn dog for that, I guess. But, thumb's okay too.
Yeah, I think it would be more helpful to have a corn dog index
Yeah.
pointer. Are those the same thing?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I don't feel like I learned the fingers in middle school, so
I don't know.
I always get a little nervous.
I feel like index maybe is maybe we inherited that one from England. I don't know. But
The index. Yeah, it sounds index.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds British.
I'd like a brother finger the size of a corn dog. That'd be real helpful.
Brother finger.
As the Wiggles call it, the middle digit.
They call it the brother finger on the Wiggles?
Yeah, they have a whole song. They have a whole song where they are, I don't know, singing about fingers, and it's the mother finger and the father finger and the brother and the sister. And I guess a
Wow.
fifth one. I don't know. I didn't.
Heteronormative.
Well, is it
Heteronormative.
brothers and sisters? Is that?
No, to have moms and dads as part of the family.
Well,
That's
for
the
the
way you could have
song
a
to
family.
work-
Wiggles.
It would be confusing to say father finger and then other father finger. It wouldn't work with the flow of the song. I guess you could name be like Jerry Finger and I get Tim, Jerry and Tim. They sound like a good couple.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Folks, you tell us which finger you'd rather have be the size of a corn dog, and we'll tell you why you're wrong. And it should be the brother finger. Thumb size corn dog, you'd win every thumb war. Every thumb war. That could be helpful. So that's a
I
plus.
agree.
That's a pro. Put that in the pro section.
Yeah. It's not all downsides, corn dog finger. All right? Look up. The life is look it up.
I would probably be most scared of accidentally biting into it because it'd be so corn dog adjacent.
Yeah. Like, I just, see it and I think breading. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, God forbid you accidentally dip it in
wild
some
animal.
panko. Or you're actually like, what if you're eating a corn dog? You have to be real careful because you gotta, I don't know,
Confusing. Yeah. Hey, I got another misconnection for you here. Here you go.
Thank you so much. Freddie's Stadium. To the woman with the beautiful hips that smiled back and made me stir. I came up the bread aisle and you were swinging those amazing hips and ample cake. I was kind of fixated. Then, when I looked up, you were smiling and sort of laughing. I blushed. Not sure if you're taken. But if not, and a wild chance you see this, let's chat and go for a drink or something. Thank you again. Just staring at a woman's hips,
It seems like you had some big thoughts, so I was letting you have them.
No, I was kind of reminded of, I guess, technically my second one-act. The first time I acted was in high school, and I was in 2 one-act plays. And in one of them, it was, I don't know, mostly about a boy and a girl through time. So there was 4 different actors playing each character, and I was the youngest one. But anyway, one of the characters, the second oldest version of me, does this whole monologue about staring at a woman's butt. It's more wholesome sounding than that, but because it's just, I don't know. You had to be there. But he compares
I guess.
he compared a woman's butt as they walk to pistons or it was pistons, just moving in sync, in perfect unison. So I was kind of taken back to that right here.
This is why people look down on theater kids. I'm going to say it right now. This is why people make fun of theater kids.
Explain.
Well, because then they learn things like, if you want to talk about a woman's hips and ass, you got to talk about those pistons.
Yeah. It got to be poetic. You can't just say nice butt. You got to say your butt is like a pair of pistons. Moving in
Also,
perfect-
is this a reference? The hips that smiled back and made me stir? There was a whole thing. Wasn't there some really bad song in the early 2000s that was it was along the lines of "I'ma make you bedrock," like the Flintstone thing, but it was it was a joke about hipsters.
Oh.
And I could make your hipster. Am I having a memory that no one else has?
I mean,
in the room,
we had different different childhood, so it's possible. But I'm
No, we had the same exact childhood, actually. So.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, hipster. Who is this song? What's this song? You Google hipster.
I'm looking it up.
And there's a lot of
Yeah, it's a Mac Miller song. It's a Mac Miller song.
nice.
I did not just imagine that. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Listen,
But it almost seems like they separated hips and stir so far apart from each other in this sentence that they didn't even realize they were accidentally referencing that song.
yeah, they probably thought they were the only person to say this about a pair of hips.
That they made you stir.
They made you stir. Hips that smile back. I'm so focused on the hips. I mean, butt's right there.
The butt. Well, okay, not everyone's an assman, Tallinn.
You did
Some
say
people like hips.
amazing hips and ample cake. Ample.
Well, ample. But the cake is not the star of the show here. It's all about them hips.
But I feel like they work together. I feel like the hips gyrate the cake, The hips stir
ample
the cake
pistons.
batter. You know what I mean?
Ample pistons. Yeah.
So, anyway, the smiling, laughing thing that happens afterwards. I don't know that that's consent.
No, it makes it mean that means it's all okay. I can say whatever I
No,
want as long as you're smiling at me afterwards.
Sure. It could definitely not something, you do when you feel awkward that a man might be watching you.
Never. I've never nervously giggled ever in my life.
No. Anyway, you can't just be hanging out in the bread aisle watching all the girls go by. Little Frankie Sinatra. You just pick the produce aisle. At least, weigh some fruit. Look busy. No one's
Why is
hanging.
that better?
Because the bread aisle is just a dead giveaway. At least if you're in the produce aisle, it's easier to I'm just looking for the right tomato. I don't know.
Spoken from experience. You know what? I'm going to give you an out here, and I'm going to read one of your misconnections.
Sometimes we do bits, and it's not a good reflection of who we are as people. They're just bits.
Nope, I'm leaving.
No,
You're not
no.
allowed to have a disclaimer. I'm going straight into your misconnection.
I have full editorial control of this podcast. Damn it. What I say goes. Anyway,
Well-
read mine.
Well, that was weird. Whoever was driving down Gleason yesterday evening in a white older model Tahoe-looking SUV yelled, "Hey!" as I was punching in the code to my complex, and then, "Fuck you," and flipped me off. That was weird. Does baby need a nap? Is baby grumpy? I hope you got your Snickers. This, honestly, of all the misconnections we've ever read, I do feel like this one is the most in my voice.
It felt really right.
I feel like I relate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really relate to this guy, especially in that, weird things just happening to you, and you realize it wasn't about you. Somebody else was having a baby grumpy kind of day.
Yeah. We've all been shouted at obscenities on the street by someone who we don't know. This person really had the right mindset. Remember that it's not about you all the time. People be going through stuff. And this person probably had a perfect rationale in their brain to flip you off and say, fuck you. Doesn't mean it's your fault.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe one of their exes lived in that complex. Maybe you looked like a guy they hated. Maybe their house was on that land and then their parents sold it to an apartment developer who knocked it down and built an apartment there. We'll simply never know. And sometimes we have to be okay with that. And that's a life lesson from misconnections.
Maybe it's not an ex. Maybe it's a current partner. And maybe they think they might be having an affair. And you fit the bill of someone who might be smooching their wife.
Hey, are you smooching my
Are
wife?
you trying to smooch with my wife?
No, I'm just looking at her ass pistons.
I'm
Don't worry about
just
it.
looking at her hips because they're making me stir.
They make make me stir.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Good on this person for having a little bit of a laissez-faire attitude. Way to take it on the chin, and also throw a grumpy baby insult at somebody, which I also appreciate.
Yeah. And honestly, if someone ever says fuck you to you in real life, this is the exact response you should have in the moment, in person. Fuck you. This baby grumpy. This baby needs a nap. You want a little nap, baby? Like, honestly, you might get punched. But honestly, it'll be worth it. Because you'll have one. In the end, you'll have one.
And maybe you'll get punched, but maybe they will be like, actually, yes, I do need a nap. Thank you for identifying my problems. Sometimes I'm sitting here and I'm in a bad mood and I'm like, fucking god damn it. And then I'm like, do I need a snacky? And then I have a snacky and things do get better. So maybe somebody someday will be like, you know what? Baby does need a nappy.
Baby,
you're
baby
right.
Need a nap. That guy's going to come back to you next time you're punching into your building and say, hey, man, I'm sorry. You were right. I was a real grumpy baby, and I took a nap, and I felt so bad. Like, let's normalize babying ourselves a bit more. Giving ourselves a nap. Giving ourselves a snack. Play free recess, every bit of it. Do that more.
Normalize.
QoS tattoo. Any women around willing to get a QoS tattoo? We'll pay for the tat. You choose the place. Okay, first question. QoS. Quantum of Solace? The James Bond movie Quantum of Solace? Why would you want a tattoo from that? It was like the worst one. Daniel Craig's worse by a mile. That seems like a bad tattoo.
Yeah. You're probably right. I mean, this is the reason why I brought this to the podcast.
So I could...
Is because I simply don't know what that means.
You don't know.
And I would like us to go on a journey... together. I also did this so that whoever's listening right now can be screaming at us. This is the time where you get to scream at us and release your inner anger and be like, I know what that means. So here's your chance to say it to us. We're listening.
I really, really wish I could hear the voices, because I got even Google's like, I don't know, quality of service?
Tullen, I found it, and you're not going to like it.
Oh no, what is it?
It's not good, and I don't like it either.
I know, what
okay.
is it? Please.
So, this is what Urban Dictionary says. Urban Dictionary, and I did not Google this beforehand. I'm doing this live on air so that we can
research.
have this journey of discovery together.
Yeah, real time.
Queen of Spades is what it stands for. This is a woman who has a sexual preference for extremely well-hung, athletic black men. The spade symbol, often inset with the uppercase Q, is often worn on clothing, jewelry, or tattooed to signify this presence. Commonly related to BBC, which is not, unfortunately, the British Broadcasting Company.
God. Wow. This got way, I guess racy is the word. In all aspects.
in all meanings of the word.
Wow. Do we need a tattoo? Do we need an image for this? I thought that was just an assumed preference everyone had.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I had a feeling it was going to be something sexual.
Sure, it always is.
But I was also like, maybe it's a band or something. No. It's not a band. Why was I so naive?
I was hoping. Why do we even have to abbreviate it? Like, Queen of Spades is already... I don't know. The worst I'm going to think is that this person likes cards if you just say Queen of Spades. But now we had to Google something. I'd almost rather not know. So now it's even more obvious when you're using this abbreviation, isn't it? Just tell me you like cards. Tell me you like poker.
I mean, it was already pretty undercover.
Yeah.
Also... when Googling it, people do get this tattooed. I am seeing several Google images of people with this tattooed on their body in obvious places.
Why? They want...
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having, like, a sexual preference of any kind. I just feel like maybe tattooing it on
Well,
yourself
there's
is
some sexual preferences maybe you shouldn't have.
Yes. Yes. There are some that are less okay than others. But having one is... I don't know if it needs to be something you tattoo yourself with. And listen, I'm not anti-tattoo. Tattoos are cool. And they're not even permanent because we all die. But just of all the tattoos you could get, it'd be weird for me to have a tattoo that was just like, ass man. I like butts. I got Sir Mix-a-Lot, and it says, I like big butts. And that's true about me.
I mean, you're definitely not getting the hips man tattoo because you were all talking shit.
I would have another tattoo with the Sir Mix-a-Lot one that says, and also I like hip-hop, and the two are related, and this is sexual in nature. It would say all that.
That's good. I think that's a pretty good tattoo. I will also say, in my research, my very brief research that I'm doing live on air right now, somebody has released a Sims mod so that you can give your Sims Queen of Spades tattoo.
Man.
Just a fun fact for the families out there.
I feel like that. I mean, there's a lot of Sims mods out there. And I feel like you gotta have, first of all, having those Sims mods, you gotta have a whole lot of money just to get all the normal stuff in the Sims, you know, all the normal expansion packs that they put out. And then the people go out of their way to make these modifications. And I've gotten into Sims a little bit more recently because it's a fun time. But, you know, I'm not playing with mods. I don't have the computer to play the Wicked Whims mod, but I have heard of it, and this feels like it would fit right in with that. Listen.
Man, if the Wicked Whims mod had been around when I was a teen playing Sims endlessly, boy oh boy, I would have been a menace. I would have been absolutely unbearable. I would have
Really?
had it for sure. Oh my god, yes. When I was like between the ages of like 12 to like 16 or 17, I feel like I really got into The Sims. And I did love making them woohoo and watching the sheets shuffle around and being like, this makes
is
me
erotic.
feel weird.
I wonder for how many people that was there, like sexual awakening, being like, what is going on in this heart-shaped vibrating bed?
I mean, to be fair, my Barbies were boning way before that. Not that I knew what sex was. They would just clash together with a real loud plastic sound, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is probably what's going on.
Do you have memories of like movies or TV shows where like sex was happening, but you didn't understand what was going on? Because I definitely do have movies that had stuff like that in it, but I had no idea what was going on. So watching that scene was just like, I don't know what this is.
What's happening here? Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely have memories of like not really knowing, but less for like media and more like I watched a lot of Law and Order SVU when I was way too young.
Oh my God.
And so I know, the worst introduction you could have.
The worst way to learn about sex by far would be Law and Order
far.
SVU.
SVU, yeah. But I do remember, I mean, yeah, pretty specifically remember like being like, oh, my Barbies I'm gonna like smash them together, but I don't actually know what that means. Like I just was like, this is good. I think that they're doing this.
Adults
Probably
seem to do this.
This is good.
So
Yeah, but I like didn't know it was sex. I was just like, this is probably good for them to do.
it's the natural progression. You're boyfriend and girlfriend, and then you kiss, and then you
clack your
you kinda-
plastic genitals together.
just move your bodies into each other, and then you have a baby. I remember watching Ace Ventura. Which one was it? I guess it's the second one, When Nature Calls, which I watched first. Didn't affect my enjoyment at all. But there is a scene. Gosh, even I'd have to watch it again to make sure of what was happening because it's Jim Carrey and he's in his little.
What
skirt.
if you watch back and it was not sexual at all?
Oh,
and you're
no.
just like
Oh, no.
rewriting the sex scene in Ace Ventura 2. I'm sorry, continue.
Okay, he's either having sex with himself or with a woman. There weren't any other voices, so I kind of assumed it was a solo act. And it's just
Even better.
shot. You just see shadow, But like, I remember that scene, and I remember watching it and being like, "There's this weird part of this movie where Jim Carrey, he's making weird noises, which is always hilarious. But I didn't understand these specific noises, and they don't show his face, and it was a weird 20 seconds, and then the movie continues.
I just love that you were like, there was a scene where you were like, he's making weird noises, but these ones aren't funny.
These aren't
What's
as-
going on?
These aren't the stereotypical Jim Carrey noises I'm used to. These ones seem aggravated. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm Googling this because I'm curious if you imagined this or not.
No, this is real.
And somebody posted in Movie Questions 7 years ago on the Reddit, where there's at the end of the campfire party scene, the princess sidles up to Ace and tries to seduce him, takes his top off.
Okay.
There's a backlit silhouette of Ace in some sort of sexual activity.
Right.
Later in the movie, Ace is accused of de-virginizing the bride, who's I guess, a princess.
That does happen.
And then it says, was the ambiguous silhouette scene them having sex, or was it him masturbating?
I think
If it was them having sex, why was she just lying motionless under the palm frond?
yes. Okay. There. See, this is the thing that makes it more confusing. I think she is in this scene, but she does not make a sound or a motion. That is just upsetting. It's weird.
It was like in her contract, she was like, I will not have sex with Jim Carrey. And they were like, but we need to do the sex scene. She was like, I'm just going to lie there. And Jim Carrey was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can handle this.
He can do
And
all
you know
the
what,
work.
guys? That just goes to show sex isn't just P and V, guys. Sex can be a woman lying motionless under a palm frond, fully consenting, motionless under a palm frond while a man masturbates.
That can also be it. And you know what? She was very, very respected in her community. And maybe the walls are thin. They are made of leaves. So you know, you gotta be quiet. I'm gonna keep it.
You gotta be quiet.
I'm gonna be quiet.
I'm really glad we got to the root of your first sexual viewing.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely other things, but I do remember it's just watching that one with like nothing in my head. That's what I remember about it. It's just like I have no idea what this is. It's not doing anything for me. Can we get back to the movie?
I want to see him go out of the dinosaur butt. Come on.
Yeah, it's a rhino, but it's fine. If it was
Anyway,
a dinosaur,
okay,
it'd be a
I
lot
thought-
more confusing because that family thinks it's seeing a rhino give birth. It'd be real. It wouldn't make any sense if it was a dinosaur, and they were just like, "Look,
So
look,
sue me.
kids, it's a dinosaur."
So sue me. I've never seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, and I don't plan on
Oh,
it.
you are missing out.
On what sounds like an incredible sex scene. So yeah, I am missing out.
Really good, dry sex scene.
All right. Sexy water. You had the sexiest water of the night. I wish I had more time to talk to you. Hydrated queen, king, person. Love it. Hydrated royalty.
Gotta stay hydrated. I did think when I first read this that it was supposed to be sexy waiter, and then I kept reading. And I was like, what? No, seems like it's water. I don't know. What is sexy water to you?
Like if it has like edible glitter in it.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Also, water is pretty sexy to begin with. Like I love water. I love water. I'm not going to say like I love water.
Wow. A lot of people don't like water, you know? I feel like I
Yeah,
used to be
because
one
they're
of those
dumb
kids.
fucks.
It's true. And that back then I was a dumb fuck. And then my band teacher told us his harrowing tale of getting a kidney stone, and I was like, I should drink more water.
Yeah, that'll do it. Any good. I love like traumatizing stories our teachers tell us. I love that yours traumatized you with a kidney stone. I had a teacher in 4th grade, Miss Wallace. She was awesome. But she told a story about how one time she went to Hawaii and she came back and she kept feeling like there was something in her eye and it like really bothered her and it didn't go away for like a week. She thought it was just an eyelash, but it didn't go away for a week. And then she went to the ophthalmologist and they were like, there's been a piece of sand stuck under your eyelid this whole time and it's actually scratched the shit out of your cornea and now you have to get new corneas.
Oh, God.
And I think about that every time I have something stuck in my eye. So thank you, teachers, for traumatizing us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you, teacher. School, you learn in more ways than one. That is horrible. And also reminds me of
Yeah.
the time I went to a doctor who was checking out my ears after I'd gotten back from a trip from Hawaii. And he was like, you have little sesame seeds in your ears. And I laughed because I thought it was like a weird doctor joke. And he was dead serious. And I was like, what? Can you investigate that further? What the fuck do you mean? It was sand. I had sand in my ear. What a horrifying thing to say to a kid.
You got sesame seed ear. We only see this once every 10 years.
And, like, no
Extremely rare
explanation.
case.
I think he must have been really scared. I think he was just as terrified as he made me, because he had nothing. He just pulled the thing out of my ear and was like, you got sesame seeds in your ear, and just stared at me, waiting for an explanation. Like, expecting me to be like, oh, yeah, I was putting sesame seeds in my ear yesterday.
That's incredible. I love that he just made a little assumption and made an ass out of you and him.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't see that doctor anymore.
That's right, and that's why. Don't go accusing kids of having sesame seeds in their ears.
Yeah. Okay, Sexy Water. I know Pixar is working on that Elementals movie that's coming out. Speaking of elements.
Oh,
Do we
right.
think
You
this is
and
gonna
your
get into
horny
some
Pixar
weird-
characters.
I'm just saying.
You and your horny... Yeah.
It's not my
think she's
fault
gonna get
that
the-
the internet is the way it is. I'm just saying anytime something happens, something makes a sexy thing out of it. So... It's
You think she's going to get the Judy Hopps treatment?
God. Zootopia is a movie that knew exactly what it was doing throughout. They knew. That movie they made with the full foresight of, people are going to make a lot of weird shit out of this.
Why did they give her ample cake?
Why even make Shakira a gazelle? You know why. You know why.
You know why. The kids love it.
Anyway, I just don't know what Sexy Water is otherwise, so... You know, water's great. It's not... I'm not aroused by it, I guess. Sorry.
Well, you're wrong. You're wrong. There's a reason they call it getting wet.
Okay. There it is.
Hey, Craigs. We got one more MC we want to give you. But first, thanks for joining us for another deep dive into the Misconnection section. The theme song was written and performed by Rose Sherman. Follow her at Hey Shermy on Insta. And follow us at Craigexistential Crisis on Insta and TikTok for more fun. If you enjoyed our company, leave us a rating wherever you're listening. Or tell a friend about our services. Check the show notes for more info.
Okay, Sarah. I have one more for you that you can give me as a birthday present.
Oh, I was going to say, this is the only birthday present you'll get from me. Right here.
That's all I deserve.
No, not true. You deserve the world. Okay.
No, well, thanks. But that's expensive.
It is. And this is free. Dude, I keep seeing posts of you running around town with your friends while wearing my clothes.
I'm Talon Bigelow.
I'm Sarah Thompson.
And this has been a Craigexistential Crisis.
It's kind of hot, actually.
I mean, whatever floats your boat.
It works for me. Judy Hopps for some.
Do not contact us with any unsolicited services or offers or Judy Hopps artwork. Please don't. She's a cop also.
You can send those to me. Oh, you're right.
Ew, gross. Because of the cop part, not the other
Yeah.
part.
No, just the cop art.